Hello, and welcome to this live recording of the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sara, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and this is the October 11th, 2022 live recording of the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome in, everybody. If you have been hanging out with us this week in Magic Week, then hello to all of you. And thanks for hanging out with me on our podcast recording today. And if you're listening to this later on the podcast feed or YouTube or wherever it is that you are catching this in the future, thank you for hanging out. Make sure to leave a like or a subscribe or stars and reviews and all those things. It really helps us a lot as a small business. I can't tell you how much that helps us and get the word out there and just spread the message of the Sisters Enchanted, which is intention, intuition, and everyday magic, so that we can all cultivate more joy, more abundance, more aligned living, even when it feels hard, and make a ripple effect on the world all around us. All right, today's topic, we're going to get right into it. And this is going to be a pretty short podcast for us today. But today's topic, we are talking about procrastination and manifestation just a little bit today. And if you have been following along or hanging out with us, then we have been talking about the expansion archetypes in our Magic Week program that we are just about to wrap up. And the expansion archetypes, it turns out from the feedback that we're getting, just my mind is blown, my heart is full, and I keep getting chills and shivers and these moments of like just disbelief over the whole thing and how amazing it has been. But I want to talk about that a little bit today, this idea of archetypes, or really any personal growth work that you are doing, whether that's shadow work, maybe you're in some of our programs and you are really doing all of the journal prompts, all of the shadow work. Maybe you just love journaling and using journal prompts. Maybe you love working with this archetype work that we're giving you. And when does doing the work, the inner work of growth and reflection, when does that become procrastination and really keep you from what you want to do, which is create the life you want to live? So procrastination and manifestation, they're both two ends of this personal growth journey. Now, one of the things that we do here, and I think that we do better than anybody out there, is combine spiritual growth with personal growth. I think that we bring this together in a way that nobody else does, in a way that we do. And there can certainly be a time, though, when we spend so much time on the personal work that we don't ever create what we want to create, which is the whole idea of doing the personal work to begin with. So whether it's diving into the archetypes like we are doing in Magic Week and looking at the expansion archetypes, or it's doing shadow work, or it's journaling, or pulling tarot cards and oracle cards, whatever that is for you and however that looks in your life, it can turn to procrastination very, very quickly and is no longer this growth work that's getting you where you want to go. And I think that we can get so sucked into, I'm not ready yet. I just need a little bit more. I'm not quite sure if I have the confidence. Let me do a little more of this. Let me find another prompt. Let me pull some more tarot cards. Those of you in Magic Week, let me watch the videos one more time. I want to make sure I get it right. When we get stuck in that is no longer growthy. That's no longer personal growth or spiritual growth. That becomes procrastination. And it's the thing that we are very likely to do. Anybody here who's a mapper or who is a wanderer, which was most of the people in our expansion archetypes, can certainly relate to this for sure, and not really moving forward. So what we're doing is we keep looking for answers. A question that I get asked a lot is, what is a tarot spread for every day? Or how do you track your daily tarot spreads? Now, I've been reading tarot I just updated an email that has this story in it of when I first bought my first tarot deck. And you can like count the years of the Sisters Enchanted as every year gets added to my story. So 22 years ago, I bought my first tarot deck. And I will tell you that I do not pull tarot cards every single day. And if I do, it's with the times when I'm doing it daily, it's with intention, very specific reason. And it's very quickly, because when we get into this, what do I need to know? Give me one more answer. Tell me more information. Give me more guidance. I need the path forward. That becomes procrastination. When we put into place the things that we've learned, so the things that you see about yourself, what you learn through your shadow work, through your journaling, those of you in Magic Week, what you've learned through the expansion archetypes, you've seen something about yourself. That is the thing to start integrating into who you are and your daily life. The more you do that, the more you will quickly create the things in your life that you want. And this is challenging for a whole vast number of reasons. But taking one little step and saying, I see this about myself. Here is what I'd like to create. This is my intention. This is what I want to manifest, if that's the word you want to use. Create, bring in, expand. I know this about myself. I've learned this about myself. What step do I take next? We learn by doing. We learn by doing. And this is going to be hard to hear for all of those mappers, but sometimes you're just not going to find the answer. It's going to unfold through action. I talk a lot about, well, I guess I don't talk a lot about it, but I share sometimes about mismanifesting, which you can probably hear, other people talk about too, and how often we will desire to create something based on a circumstance we're experiencing right now. And a story in my life where this happened, when the Sisters Enchanted was 1 year old, I had just closed down another business that I was running, and I had a baby and I had a toddler at home. And all of this happened in a 4-week time period. We had also just launched our Enchanted Journey membership. So within 4 weeks, I closed a business, sold off the client list and the assets. I had a C-section. I had my toddler. Membership starts. Everything's running, right? And I desperately wanted somebody to help me during the day. I was like, if only I had help during the day. And I thought to myself, if only my husband could be home during the day. Well, you know what? Gosh darn it. 4 months later, actually, like 4 months later, he stopped working. On purpose. And I was not prepared for it. He was not prepared for it. And it was not the help that I needed. But this is what happens, right? When we aren't clear on what we want and we avoid taking action. Because we spend so much time, somebody just give me an answer. My tarot cards just give me an answer. If I watch the video one more time, I'm going to find the right way. I'm going to find the answer. The answer unfolds through taking action. Now, all of these years later, I know that in that moment, I did not need my husband home with me. That is not what I needed. But through that action, right, and living this experience, I have learned a whole heck of a lot. And I've been able to apply that to create more of what I do want in my life. And it has opened many, many doors for us that I never would have thought possible, or weren't even things I would have considered at that time. Now we travel around a lot in a big old RV, and we get to see cool places and go to great hikes and mountains and oceans and rivers and all these things. At that time, we had never even thought of that. It was nothing. If you said, Sarah, you're going to buy an RV and do these things, I would have been like, no, we're not. I absolutely don't want to do that. And that happened because of that misstep. But I took action, right? That is the point. You know something about yourself and you take action. It might not be the right action. And you might later say, oh my goodness, that's not what I wanted. But you're going to learn something from it and you are going to grow anyway. And if you don't start taking action based on what you know about yourself, you will stay in procrastination forever and ever and ever. And there is no tarot spread, there is no journal prompt, and there is no archetype video that is going to get you out of that. Taking action and allowing the journey to unfold is what's going to get you where you want to go, and what's going to ultimately help you manifest the life that's in alignment for you and show you what you really, truly desire through the missteps along the way, once you are open to knowing yourself. All right, let me I'm going to check through some comments here, and then we're going to wrap up my brief soapbox for this day. I see here just, yes, people, the queen of procrastination. Yeah, same, procrastinating. I tell you, I procrastinate too. When it comes to important phone calls I have to make, decisions I have to make, in the more pressing, the more important it is, oddly, the more I will procrastinate on it. The more important a decision is, or not so much a decision, like an action that's uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable the action is, the longer I will drag my feet, knowing it's causing me discomfort, and I will wait longer. Why is that? Well, if you've been in the archetypes class, the magic week, then you've heard me share a little bit and you might be able to guess, but that is a quality of mine, right? So we all have these within us. And the thing that I think a person like myself who's teaching these things, I have lived this experience, putting into place what I teach here for so long now that within 10 minutes of thinking a thought that's unhelpful, I recognize that's an unhelpful thought. What am I going to do instead? And it really is intuitive to me. It's just part of who I am now to see and immediately recognize the things that I'm doing. Taking action on it still sometimes takes me a while, but I create what I want in my life much faster now than I ever did before, and things I never thought possible for myself based on the things that I'm teaching here. That's how I know it works. And for our students here who have completely 180 their life and share those stories with us, it's the same for them. But it comes from the taking action, not trying to really say, oh, I just need one more bit of information. I need to really memorize this one piece, right? It comes through action, All right, let's see here. Yeah, I saw one of our community members, Renee, shared was calling in $5,000 and had a job offer for $5,500 a week, but would never take that job. And two, I think that when we are really truly looking for a solution, I think part of this also is when you learn more about yourself through something like our expansion archetypes, you begin to understand why it is that you're requesting the things you're requesting to begin with. Why do you want this thing? And starting to see how perhaps you can maybe mold your question in a different way or open up to a possibility that you hadn't seen before. I love this. Put your big girl panties on and just do it. Yeah, that's not easy for all of us. All of us have that sometimes. So that is for you today. Whether you are working on your archetype work or you're doing shadow work or you are using journal prompts or you are pulling some tarot cards or whatever that thing is for you, allow yourself to step away. See something about yourself. Once you've recognized something about yourself, and all the people who raised their hands today and said, I'm a procrastinator, that is, you've made a recognition about yourself on this day. You've pointed something out about yourself. So what do you do next? What is it that you desire? Do you desire to feel comfortable financially? Do you desire to feel more simple in your life, to have fun relationships? Like, what do you desire? And then this thing that you're recognizing about yourself today, how is that keeping you from where you want to go? What action can you take today to show I'm ready to get a little bit beyond this? And it might be a very small action, but even a small action starts a big snowball, right? And can get that ball rolling. All right. That is our very short podcast recording for you on this day. I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. I want to let you know quickly too, before we go, those of you who are in Magic Week, I will see you over there. And our Holistic Witchery program is open for registration. We've got a special top secret super surprise bonus. And when you register before Thursday, the 13th, October 13th, and we're going to start getting our welcome packs out in the mail for you. A nice little tote bag, a journal, some worksheets. We throw a pen in there. My mother works here also, and she packs all of these, and she's always sneaking things into the packages like stickers. So registration's open for our final round of 2022 and at the 2022 registration rate. So if you want to get in, now is the time. And you know where to reach us. You can email us at magic@thesistersenchanted.com if you have any questions or need any help getting registered. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging with me. And I'll see you next week on the Expedition to Soul podcast. Until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead.